How does social inclusion help with recovery from mental illness?
From the clients that we have, from my experience of working with people in Canterbury with the Enhanced team, we found that within the recovery model that we're now finding the lads that are coming along, and young ladies as well, that they were socially isolated through their illness, but the football has given them the confidence to now come along and be part of a team. Not just from doing the football, the team themselves have formed a very nice social network, so they're now going out and experiencing, they're going to restaurants, they're going to the cinemas, doing the things that you and I would take for granted to do, where in the past their illness would have perhaps robbed them from that, to taken the confidence away. So it's all really good, promoting social inclusion. And what we're hoping to do is a couple of the lads that are coming along to the football are of a very high standard, and we're trying to promote them to go and join a local league side, so they're not necessarily under the umbrella of the mental health team, that they're going to play football within their local communities, which has been really positive.
What do you hope to get out of today?
Today my real aim is to offer people from across the country. We've got 200 people. We've got people from Doncaster, Yorkshire, all the way down to Devon. And I just wanted to offer people that opportunity, like I said earlier on, to come along and experience this fantastic facilities that we have here at the David Beckham Football Academy.
Thanks very much, Darren. I'm joined now by Rob, one of today's participants. Rob, do you want to tell me kind of what sort of training you did for today's event?
Yeah, there's quite a few of us that got together once a week, and we do like full training for an hour, which is physical training as well as playing. Because we all know each other, we go and play during the week as well.
Have you enjoyed yourself today?
Definitely, yeah, it's been superb. Yeah, it's been really good.
That's it from Greenwich. Back to you, Richard.
Thanks very much, Jodie. Now, Unite has about 80,000 reps and shop stewards throughout the country, and they all do a sterling job. Unfortunately, many of them, like me, are getting on a bit. Earlier I asked Graham Goddard how Unite intends to nurture the next generation of shop stewards.
Well, today is the Young Members Committee of the Union, who obviously have got a focal point in making sure the Young Reps project succeeds. They're the lifeblood of the Union. They're the main activists of the young members, because they get elected from young members committees around the country, regionally. So they sit on the National Young Members Committee, and on that basis are going to make sure, from my point of view, that bringing new people into union, young members, students, going out and into schools, delivering the union message, and also delivering what we need from the union's point of view for young members. And the exciting bit from my point of view is that we're actually going to train them people to go and talk to young people, because it's got to be better, young people mixing with young people rather than somebody at my age going out there and sending the message. You know, the link between each other is vital, and to get the collective back at that young age is something that I'm aspiring to for union.
Here at Westminster Central Hall today, reps from manufacturing have gathered with an important message for their MPs. We asked some of them earlier what they were going to say.
We would like the Minister today, Lord Drayson, to say that he was going to include propulsion in the Defence Industrial Strategy.
Today is all about trying to raise the profile of manufacturing within the UK.
What I'd like to see happen here today is the pressure be applied from the union onto the government in relation to manufacturing.
I'd like to hear a commitment from the UK government to providing reasonable research and technology funding.
We'd like to from government change the employment law first, protect our industry. Job going outside of the country, we'd like to protect deep in this country.
Well, that's it for this episode of Union TV. I leave you with Derek Simpson addressing the manufacturing lobby. We'll see you again soon.
Globalisation is not a natural phenomenon. It's the process by which the very rich in the world are stuffing it down the throats of the poorest in the world at the expense of the rest of us who are moderately better off. The way in which they take across the globe their ability to make maximum profits, irrespective of what damage they do to any society. There is no basis of equality here. This is not about developing the undeveloped world. This is not about sharing the wealth that we in the Western and advanced economies really need to look after our brethren, our brothers and sisters in the undeveloped world. All the evidence indicates that globalization, far from bringing benefit to the undeveloped world, actually suppresses wages and conditions in those areas, as well as damage the wages and conditions and jobs in those countries from which the work is taken. Some of our strategy revolves around the question of level playing fields. You hear the phrase, level playing field. What does it mean? People say, what does it mean, a level playing field? I've just had some interesting statistics given me on the way in. Let me repeat them. What does a level playing field mean? It's 10 times more expensive to make a worker redundant in France than it is in the UK. In Germany, it takes 10 times longer to make a worker redundant than it does in the UK. That's what we mean by a level playing field. We need the UK to enact legislation that protects UK jobs and makes it as difficult to get shut of UK jobs as it is in France or Germany. But look, colleagues, even if our government enacted a level playing field, and we must urge them and continue to urge them to do so, even if our government spent every penny of taxpayers' money in investing in UK manufacturing, they and it would not stop the power of the multinationals. The power of the multinationals are above the power of a government, even if governments wanted to oppose them. There are some governments that don't oppose them because they're part of it. I mean, we've long got past the point, anybody who's any intelligence, to know that Bush is not interested in democracy in Iraq, he's interested in oil. That American governments are in fact the owners of the companies that exploit the world and seek to maximise profit. There's no doubt at all that the American government is not interested in American manufacturing, it's more interested in the profits of its corporate interests. They're the same people that run in the boardrooms, that take the decisions that move around the world, that destroy ordinary people's lives. They're not interested in American democracy or democracy in Iraq. They're interested in maximising their own profits at the cost of anybody. They'll sacrifice their own workers. Gone are the days when British imperialism at least meant, when we exploited the undeveloped world, the benefits of that came back to good old Blighty, where at least we got some of the crumbs off the table. Capital is now international. It has no boundaries. It has no loyalty. British, American, French, German capitalists are exploiting workers throughout the world. And it's why, in addition to the things we want you to do today, to tell our MPs, to tell our government to do something about procurement, to do something about a level playing field, to do something about the agency and temporary workers that's destroying collective bargaining and will lead, if we're not careful, to the destruction of the trade union movement. We don't need revolutions. We don't need guns on the street. We don't need burning tankers in the road. All we need to do is understand the problem and get some of our people to provide the answers politically. And if they can't, I'll tell you one other campaign. If the present Labour politicians can't do it, we better get them changed to some Labour politicians who can and win back the Labour Party.